3, 2, 1.
Please take your seats. School is now in session.
Welcome to Homeschooled Podcast.
Homeschool.
The Homeschool Podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
It's time to document the journey.
Welcome back to Homeschooled Podcast. I'm Agostino Zoida. I'm the host of Homeschooled Podcast. In case you didn't know, now you know. And today we have an episode where it's just me solo as the host, and there's no guest, there's no co-host, nothing like that. If you are familiar with the Homeschool Podcast, I do this every now and then when I have something on my mind to talk about. And today is no different than any other solo episode that I've done. I've got something important that I want to talk about, an important message for you all. As you know what we do here at Homeschool Podcast, we document the journey, and there's a lot of journey going on right now. There's a lot of roads, peaks and valleys, and obstacle courses, and I'm not going to take a lot of your time today. Again, if you're familiar with Homeschool Podcast, when I do these solo episodes, it is usually not very long, so I'm not going to waste too much of your time. Besides that, I hope you guys are enjoying the other episodes, introducing a lot of new segments. As you already know, we do the Rewatchables, which is a talk show, a funny talk show that me and my close friend Kevin Lyons do, where we talk about movies that we think are rewatchable. And the videos are actually only about 5 minutes, and they go only on Instagram and YouTube. But the entire conversation, unedited and raw, spoilers and everything, is always right here at Homeschool Podcast. And then also, another thing I'm doing right now is I'm going back from 1973 forward, and I'm going over all the Oscar-nominated Best Pictures and Best Actors and Actresses and what have you, directors, and going through them and seeing what I agree with and what I don't agree with, as well as watching some of the movies I've never seen before, and I've been doing that. So if you guys go back, the episode right before this one, it's a new segment on Homeschool Podcast. It's called "And the Oscar Goes To." And go back, we did 1973 through 1977. It's fun, it goes by quick, and it's informative, it's funny, it's not boring and long at all. It's not we're sitting there talking on each movie forever. So, and I had a good week. I watched some of the ones I never saw before. I had a good time watching some great old movies from the 70s. So I hope you guys have been enjoying that. And, I'm just kind of rebranding things here. Not really. I mean, we still got a Homeschool Podcast. That's not going anywhere. I'm always going to do that. But as I've said in the past, after, 4 or 5 years of doing this podcast, 400 and something episodes, I've come to terms this podcast is not going to be my big break, and that's fine. But I'm building a lot of things, and I will continue to do this podcast. So it'll be great. It's just, I love doing it. I love people that listen to it. I love the people that, reach out to me to tell me that the things that I spoke about hit them a certain way or help them through something. And, as performing artists, we need that. And that's what we do here. We mostly document the journey of the performing artist. And I've got other things. I've got, I'm branding Homeschooled Entertainment, which is my, network or production company, if you will. So Homeschooled Entertainment's got several different segments. I've got, the Friday roast, which is a 15-second roast of people that you guys suggest. I roast them. I've got Flavor City, which is a new show I got coming out of all my cooking and stuff like that. I've got, what else have I got coming out? I got the Rewatchables. I've got my album, and I've got in the works documentaries I'm filming and shorts that I'm filming, and a new album and a new special that's all in the works. So that's all under the production, and as well as my stand-up, like everything is all under Homeschooled Entertainment. Make sure you guys are following me on Instagram. Sorry for the long opening here. It's just a lot of things I got going on right now. It's all coming together. I'm just putting the pieces together as I go, and Make sure you're following me on Instagram at Agostino Zoida. Everything's right. Everything goes there, and your subscription on YouTube will be appreciated as well. Let's get into this episode because we're gonna hit some notes of things that people want to talk about. So, before I begin, I would just like to remind everybody that this episode is brought to you by True Dog. True Dog is one of my favorite sponsors because I cannot stress enough the importance of being cautious and aware of what you're feeding your dog, even when it comes to treats. Yeah, I mean, even if it's not True Dog, I'm not just saying this because it's a sponsorship thing. Guys, just find something that works for your dog that they're not allergic to. I like True Dog. There's a lot of treats and dog food as well as dental care. My favorite thing about True Dog is the dental spray because dogs don't like it or when you brush their teeth. And now they got a spray, just lift up their gums. It's easier. No, you're not wrestling with them anymore. And helps with their breath, helps with the plaque, and prevents heart disease. So you're helping out your pet, you're helping out yourself, you're helping out the Homeschooled podcast. If you click the link in the description or go to homesschooledpod.com. That's homesschooledpod.com. Click on sponsors and click the True Dog link. While you're there, check out our other sponsor because this episode is also brought to you by Ooni Pizza Ovens. Ooni Pizza Ovens make it possible for everybody to have their very own pizza oven in their home. You don't have to have a huge mansion or a giant backyard. You can have a deck, a balcony, a small backyard, a porch. It's compact, and it is now possible for anybody to have a pizza oven at home. Make healthy pizzas, make pizzas your way. You can buy everything from them, the wood chips, you can get the dough, everything from Ooni Pizza Ovens. And you guys, it's fucking awesome. It's a lot of fun. You could take it to the park, like tailgating, and maybe a chick comes over for Netflix and chill. Who are you kidding? You're blowing minds. You got a pizza oven? Who the fuck does that? So, Ooni Pizza Ovens. Click the link in the description. You're helping out the Homeschool podcast, and you're hooking yourself up. And it's all at homesschooledpod.com. Click on sponsors. While you're there, click over on tour and check out my upcoming tour dates. You guys can see me live. I do have bad news that my Tampa, Florida gig is canceled. Simply because of a conflict with the venue. So if you've already bought tickets to that, I'm sorry. They will be refunded this week. But anyway, I got other dates. I got a lot of dates in May. I'm working on something in March and April. But mostly, I'd like to keep those options open for finishing up some projects that filming projects that I'm working on. And somebody wants to offer me a date, I'll take it. But I'm not going to break my back till May. All right, that's it. We got everything out of the way, and I promised you guys I wouldn't take too much of your time, and I already lied. It was a long-ass intro. I'm not going to lie. All right, let's get into it. So, let's talk Joe Rogan. All right? If anybody gives a flying fuck about my opinion, I know a lot of people don't give a shit. I'm small potatoes what my opinion is. But I am a stand-up comedian, and because I'm a stand-up comedian, a lot of my friends and family have reached out and said, so what's your thoughts on the whole Joe Rogan thing? And I'll say this, all right? We have a problem in this country where we have a terrible memory. We have a terrible memory, and we can't seem to pay attention to what history has taught us. In history, there is a reason why they say those who forget history are doomed to repeat it. There's a reason they say that. In the history of time, anyone ever, I don't care what history book you're reading about what subject, anyone ever through history that has tried to silence anyone is the bad guy in that story. Boom. End of story. We seem to have a horrible memory in this country where people forgot all about what happened to Lenny Bruce. Everybody forgot about Lenny Bruce. But if you go back and you read right now what Lenny Bruce did, or if you go back and you read any history story ever that talked about silencing someone, the silencer is the victim, and the one that they're trying to silence is the hero. Always. Even the people who are trying to do the silencing and the canceling right now, even those people look back at history and see dictatorship. They see silencing. They see canceling. They see people who try to bring the truth towards the front lines and towards the public for everyone to know, and they've got silenced. Everyone, including people who are cancelers and silencers today, will agree that that was fucked up. But we seem to have a horrible problem with our memory in this country, where we don't consider the past. We didn't learn our lesson every single chapter through the history books. Maybe this time will be different. Why would it be different? It's always been the same every single time. The silencer is the evil one. The silencer is the villain. And the person trying to speak the truth is the fucking hero. We forgot all about Lenny Bruce, didn't we? Everybody forgot about Lenny Bruce. Listen, if you follow stand-up comedy, or if you're a stand-up comic, or you just know stand-up comedy well, maybe you just know about today, and you're jumping up and down about Joe Rogan and your Tom Segura's, and you just fucking, you're all fucking dung-ho on stand-up comedy, all right? I'm a stand-up comic. I'm a comedian nerd. I got you. I get it. But you should also know about the past. Go look up Lenny Bruce. Everybody forgot about that story. Lenny Bruce is the pioneer of dirty comics. Lenny Bruce is the pioneer of saying things that you want to say on stage, whether it be dirty or it be political, and bringing the truth forward and shedding light on the bullshit of government, of politics. He's the first to do it. He's the pioneer. And we seem to, every single time we have a pioneer in something, it takes us, unfortunately, about 50 years for us to realize that they were the heroes. But in the time, we don't realize it. There are a few that do realize it. Most of you will probably agree with me on this. But there's a pocket of people that don't realize it. And so that's what I have to say to you, to those of you who have asked me, what do you think about the whole Joe Rogan thing? Go back and look at Lenny Bruce. Lenny Bruce was literally arrested several times for saying something on stage in a comedy club. People are paying money, adults, not children, adults are paying money to go to a comedy club, to buy alcohol, and listen to a stand-up comedian. And this gentleman, this pioneer of stand-up comedy, was arrested on stage. Did you guys forget about that one? Go back. Let's stop forgetting history. Go back. This dude was arrested on stage. Not only that, not only arrested, went to trial. Several trials with juries. Imagine when you get summoned for jury duty. Imagine you got to take off work for a week or two, and then you got to go all the way down to the courthouse every day because you got summoned for jury duty, and you get there and the case is a comedian said a foul language on stage. It's insanity. And maybe at the time that was an unspeakable words. I think he got in trouble for saying cock once, or cocksucker, or talking about gay people. Or, he was talking in the favor of gay people, like defending gay rights. And, so everybody who you might want to call a liberal, although I don't agree with that term used for those people because they're the most anti-liberal people ever, but people seem to call them liberals. But, anybody who's canceling and silencing right now would be all for someone stepping up and speaking out against government, politics, gay rights, you know, this is what this person was doing. And right now, if you show those people that, they will agree with me. But at the time, we're in the times. We're in the times right now. But you want to silence Joe Rogan. It's insane. You're going to a trial over something that a comedian said on stage. So he is the pioneer of dirty comics and getting away with saying dirty things on stage. He is the pioneer of talking openly about his views on politics and government, and opening up doors for comedians to be able to express themselves and say their thoughts. There's a ton of comics that I see every day on Twitter and social media that I don't agree with half the shit that comes out of their mouth. Some of them are so fucking blind and retarded, comics, people, everybody. But the fact that they are comedians and they do have the platform to get on stage and say whatever the fuck they want, that's their right. It's everybody's right to have free speech. It's the First Amendment. It's in the fucking Constitution, man. So every comedian needs to go back and look at Lenny Bruce and remember him. And remember what he did, that he went to fucking trial. He went to fucking court and paid fucking lawyers and shit. And lost his fucking money that he worked hard to get, paying for lawyers and courts, because he was opening doors for all of us. He was a pioneer. And you know who else I have heard referred to as a pioneer of comedy? Joe Rogan. When was the last time you heard that Rogan is a pioneer of independent broadcasting? He is. He's the pioneer. Not that he's the first person to ever have a podcast. That's not what I'm saying. He's the first person to have a huge success blow up from independent broadcasting. And if they don't let him have his free speech on his show, it is no longer independent broadcasting. And if we don't nip it in the bud right now, that's the future for all of us. Do you want to live in a world where you are listening to a podcast where we're restricted on what we can say or what we can talk about? We're practically there. The reason you like podcasts is because they keep it real. There's a reason people turned off the radio and they turned on a podcast while they drive to work, because they're adults and they don't need people pussyfooting around treating them like children. They want to hear the real story. They want to hear cursing and people that sound like them giving it to them like how it is. That's why you turned off FM radio. That's why you turned off fucking Howard Stern. That's why you put on Joe Rogan. That's why you listen to podcasts. It's to find the thing that you're interested in and not just listen to the generic nonsense that's blasted out through the speakers. That's why you put on a podcast. But now we live in a time where I can't post about my views on things. Even a small potatoes fucking podcast like my own has been flagged and removed off YouTube. YouTube has removed episodes. They will probably remove this one. That means that somebody at fucking YouTube actually has the job to sit here to listen to a guy like me who gets 8 fucking views on YouTube a week, who gets under 1,000 fucking downloads on SoundCloud for my podcast a week. Someone's sitting there listening to me. And because I brought up how, I don't think that we should have to show our fucking papers to go into a grocery store. If I said something like that, my shit gets taken off YouTube. Do we want to live in a world where this is happening? You are pushing us backwards. You're pushing us into broadcasting where people have a say in what we can or can't say. You're pushing us back to Lenny Bruce times where you're getting arrested. We're going to get back there. We're going to get back there. It's happened in Australia right now. It happens in other countries, and it's going to happen here. We're moving forward to a fucking social credit, a digital fucking ID card. And it's going to happen. I've known it for a year. Now all of a sudden it ends up on Rogan's podcast. People are starting to hear about it. I've been saying it for a year. We've all been talking about it. And that's where we are. We are having them control what we can say, what we can do, having a voice, having an opinion, having to speak out when we go, this is bullshit that the government is fucking telling us or doing us. We have to question you. You work for us, motherfucker. We don't work for you. So we are going towards all of that ending. We're going backwards. We're going towards the fucking whatever you call it, the FCC restricting us and fining us for words. We're going back to court hearings about what we say on stage as comedians and performing artists and public speakers. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here. So there's my what everybody wants to know about what I have to say about Rogan. I say to you, those doomed. I say to you, those who forget history are doomed to repeat it. Go back and read about what happened to Lenny Bruce. It'll sound pretty fucking familiar. Second thing I want to talk to you guys about. This, I think, kind of goes with it. I want to talk about dreams and giving up on them. If you have a dream, or you have ever had a dream of something that you wanted to do or something that you wanted to be or accomplish, and then eventually you didn't have that dream anymore. Eventually you almost like gave up on it, not really gave up. You know, it wasn't like you gave up. It's just that like you didn't want it anymore. You changed. You grew out of it. I think that's completely normal. I think that happens all the time. Being a stand-up comic, I came up, with a lot of comics that don't even do comedy anymore. I'd say like 90% of the comics I've ever met in my life don't do comedy anymore. And the 10%, I still like talk to them all the time. We work together. So, but it's not uncommon to, and I don't just mean stand up, but it's not uncommon to have a goal or a dream or something you want to be, and then all of a sudden you don't want those things anymore. You lose interest. That's not uncommon, and it's totally okay. I just want everybody to know that's totally okay. That's why, young people change their, what's the word? I don't know. I'm a fucking homeschool kid, guys. When you go to college and you choose your, what the fuck? I don't know. I'm drawing a blank right now. When you're, what you're going to study. You choose your, why the fuck can't I think of this? It's driving me insane. I almost want to fucking Google it. Like, what's it called? Now, you guys are probably yelling it through your speakers right now at me. I'm just drawing a blank right now. What's it called when you choose your subject in school? Let's see what it gives me. I don't know. It doesn't even tell me fucking anything because Google's fucking a dumb cunt too. It's going to drive me absolutely insane. My brain goes to master, but no, it's not mastering. It's like what you're going to study. Chosen your field. I don't fucking know. It's going to come to me tomorrow. I honestly hate the fact that I can't think of the word right now. I kind of want to Google it again because I'm just so mad. I'm so fucking mad that I can't think of the word. I've had a long fucking day, you guys. Let's see here. I've got... what's it called when you decide what subject to take in college? Let's try that. A major. Oh, what a fucking idiot I am. All right, anyway, let me go back. Where was I? Yes, so that is why young people change their major a lot, which is completely normal. Which is why I think that young people shouldn't be making crazy decisions that will affect the rest of their lives, let alone ours and the entire country, which is why I do not think that we should lower the age to vote. It is also why I don't think that young people should decide if they want to get a sex change operation. I have a bunch of tattoos. I got them all when I was 18, and even some of those I regret. Like, I don't think that young people should be making these decisions. If anything, we should raise the age to vote. It shouldn't even be based off of an age. It should be based off of an IQ, to be honest with you. But so yeah, it's very difficult for young people. So I mean, it's completely normal as you get older or as you change as a person, and a lot of things can change you, where you live, where you who you hang around with, what you consider to be a high level or low level, or as Sam Tripoli calls it, what does he say, high frequency person or low frequency person, the quality of people you choose to be around and allow in your life. I mean, you'll do this for the rest of your life. I'm in my 30s and I still, have all these realizations, and I change, and you should always be evolving. I hope that when I'm like 70, I'm still evolving as a human being. So it is completely normal to want something and then later on not want it anymore. It is completely normal to have a goal or, want an achievement and have a dream, and then you don't want it anymore. But then again, every now and then, there's a dream that is the one, so to speak. Like, it's the one. It's the one that's not changing. It's the one that you are always going to want. It's the one that, regardless of how much you change as a person or how much your mind changes about things, it's always still going to be your dream. It's not going anywhere. It's almost like finding the love of your life. It's like the one, because that feeling of other things that you've wanted and they've always kind of sizzled, or you just didn't care about them anymore. It's just, it wasn't your dream anymore. But then there's that one thing that's the one. That's the one you get away, or the one that you're still always pursuing. And now listen. This is the second thing I wanted to talk about today. The point. And the point is that even that one that doesn't change, that's always your dream, even that one, you've thought to yourself, well, maybe I don't want that to be my dream anymore. Maybe it's another one of those, like my past. I changed my mind, I don't want it anymore. But you know what, guys? That's a fucking lie. That's a lie you tell yourself because you're trying to get out of it. You're trying to, because it's too hard or whatever, and you're trying to pawn it off as one of those other things. I've changed my mind before. I've realized that this wasn't for me. I gave it a good go for, a long time, several years. But you know what, guys? It's different. It's not the same. It's not. Sorry, I got a fucking loudmouth outside my podcast talking. But anyway. Man. Sorry, guys. I'm having a bad day. I'm ready to fucking go off on anybody right now. Sometimes don't you just hate people? But anyway, so I just want to tell you guys something, because I know that you've had a billion things that you just lost interest in. It wasn't your dream anymore. Not because you failed, but because you didn't want it. But then there's that one thing that never changes, that is still always your dream. And for you to say, like, maybe it's like one of those that I don't want anymore, It's like lying to yourself. And you know the difference. You know the difference between the thing. That's still the goal. I think that's part of the reason why a lot of guys who quit comedy, they always come back. They try to lie to themselves and tell them that it wasn't their dream. Like, I tried it, I gave it a good go, it wasn't for me, move on to something else. But then they always come back because deep down, like when you find your thing, and not just comedy, anything, when you find your passion, and you can kind of tell which one is the one, because it's the one that you are in love with regardless if you make money. It's the one that, you know, achieving the dream doesn't mean it's your career. It's the one that's you, man. It's fucking you, man. And I will tell you that when you find that thing and you start to have those doubts, or you start to have those feelings like maybe my dream isn't my dream anymore, about that one, that's the one, I'm here to tell you, it ain't because of you. It's not because you don't want it anymore. It's not because you changed your mind and that's not your dream anymore like the others. No. I'm here to tell you that it's because people and society and the industry beat you down. They beat you the fuck down until you can't take it anymore, until you want to quit, that you'll lie to yourself and tell you, I don't even want this anymore. It's not worth all this. But that's not true. All those other things, maybe that was true. But this one thing that you found, if you're having doubts, you're thinking about quitting, that's not you. It's everything that comes with it. The industry, the people, society that turn you off of it, that take away the beauty in it, the art in it, the passion that you got from it in the first place. They take that away by their shutting you out and pushing you down and making it impossible to work with, making it impossible to deal with them, making it impossible to achieve anything, making sure that you don't achieve. Just beating you down, just putting everybody else up around you that maybe, you know, down the road they're temporary anyway. They're going to change their mind too, but no. Everybody else fucking gets everything, right? Everybody around you gets fucking everything. And they're not as good as you, right? That's always how it feels. I'm not trying to say I'm better than everybody, but I'm saying that's how it feels. It's like everybody gets everything and they're not as good as you. Or they don't want it as much as you. They haven't worked as hard. Now, I'm not saying that's true, but I'm saying that's how you feel. So, I'm here to tell you that it's the industry, it's the people, it's society, it's everything that just try to not make it easy on you. That try to convince you, like, maybe my dream isn't my dream anymore. The silencers, the cancelers, the gatekeepers. There's many different levels of gatekeepers. There's the comedy club gatekeeper. There's the fucking open mic gatekeepers, the bar show gatekeepers. Certain levels of different powers go to people's head regardless how small. There's the theater gatekeepers. There's the industry gatekeepers. There's the social media gatekeepers. People that get to point and say, no, not you. You, not you. Okay, you. The bouncers at the nightclub. I've been pretty vocal before about how we don't need these people anymore. And they got a rude awakening for them. For how the tables are turned. And you can push yourself forward. You can put yourself on top. You can, when they say no, make it a yes in your own way. You can go without them and go do your own thing. Because you don't need a microphone to create your art that you're passionate about. If it's your dream and it's the one, you're going to do it regardless. You don't need, an art gallery to paint. Go paint in a fucking garage if it makes you happy. If you're going to create art. I know we want as many eyes on it as possible. We want to succeed, but we don't need them. So take it from me. If you found the one and you're starting to think that your dream isn't your dream anymore, don't buy into that urge. It's the industry surrounding it that's trying to convince you of that. It's the villain. It's the villains. So don't let them do it. Be the hero in the history books. When people go back and look at the history books, what will it show you are? Are you the villain? Are you the victim? Or are you the hero? Look what we're saying about Rogan right now. Look what we're saying about the past, about Lenny Bruce. The gates that people open. You can try to open gates. That's huge. You can be a pioneer of something. That's fucking great. But even if you're not, even if you're the person that just didn't get knocked down by the villain, that's a miracle in itself. And someone's going to fucking have a great place for you in their history book where you look like the hero. And that's it, you guys. That's all I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I've said what I had to say. Those are the two things I wanted to talk about. And I think that they go well together. So thank you for listening. I hope you got something out of it. I hope it inspires you to keep going with whatever it is that you want to do. So I just want to thank you all for tuning in. Please continue to come back. Please subscribe. Please go on YouTube and subscribe. Please make sure you follow me on Instagram because, I see I got some followers and it keeps me going a little bit longer. Especially if you guys see all the stuff I got going. I got funny videos going. I got creative videos, cooking, stand-up, movie talk. Even if you want to message me on there and just, let me know you're here and you're fucking listening. And hopefully this helps. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Thank you. From the bottom of our hearts here at Homeschooled Podcast. My name is Agostino Zoida. Please come back and support us here and come back to listen to us document the journey. This is Homeschooled Podcast. Don't forget to only love can save the world. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Homeschooled Podcast.
Homeschool.
The Homeschool Podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
I don't want to do that.
Okay.
I don't want to do that at all.